Bapinde, again woman, I want bapinde, I want bapinde, again woman, bapinde, I want bapinde, again woman, I want bapinde, I want bapinde, again mana weZimbabwe wabhuma, naivo vati bapinde, nyangwe mapurisa abhuma, naivo vati bapinde, masoja abhumawo, naivo vati bapinde, mawo veterenzi abhuma, naivo vati bapinde, mukomana bapinde, I want bapinde, mukomana vana vachidana mu, I want bapinde.
This is Letter from America, presented by Dr. Stanford Mukasa. Letter from America is a weekly in-depth analysis of the situation in Zimbabwe. It is a broadcast on Change Radio, an internet-based radio station of the Zimbabwean diaspora and friends from around the world. Change Radio is aimed specifically at giving Zimbabweans and friends at home and abroad news, information, and a diversity of perspectives that are not available to them in the heavily government-controlled broadcast media in the country. The opinions and views expressed in Letter from America are solely those of the presenter and not necessarily of Change Radio.
What do Makomborero Haruzivishe of today's Zimbabwe, the Reverend Martin Luther King of 1960s segregated America, and Nelson Mandela in Apartheid South Africa have in common? In today's Letter from America, we will read and reflect on the letter from jail written by a young Zimbabwean activist. On September 30, an online publication published in full a letter from jail by a human rights activist, Makomborero Haruzivishe. Mako, as he is affectionately called, is languishing in jail in Harare on the flimsy charge of inciting public violence. Thousands of human rights activists, especially members of the MDC Alliance, have been arrested for speaking out against the human rights violations inflicted on the people of Zimbabwe by the ZANU-PF government. Just like other victims of human rights abuse, Makomborero's trial was a complete travesty of justice. He was accused of blowing a whistle to alert protesters to pounce on police. In any normal court, this accusation would have been laughed out of court. Makomborero's case, just like other human rights activists, has generated national and international outcry under the hashtag #FreeMako. But what stands out in Mako's situation is his letter from jail, in which he demonstrates an incredible resilience and dedication to the struggle for justice and human rights for Zimbabweans. The civil rights struggle always produces its own heroes around the world. And some of the heroes often produce letters from jail in which they espouse deep and enduring human rights philosophical statements about why they are sacrificing their lives. In 1963, the civil rights leader, the Reverend Martin Luther King, wrote a letter from jail where he was held for leading a civil rights protest in 1960s segregated America. A group of clergy reminded Martin Luther King that in leading the protest, he was breaking the local laws. His answer had a deep philosophical implications. King said there are two types of law: just and unjust. One has not only a legal but a moral responsibility to obey just laws. However, one has an equally moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. Quoting St. Augustine, a renowned theologian and prolific writer, King added, "An unjust law is no law at all." In 1969, imprisoned ANC leader in apartheid South Africa, Nelson Mandela, wrote 250 letters from jail where he spent 25 years as a political prisoner. Remember, Mandela wrote that hope is a powerful weapon, even when all else is lost. Our cause is just. It is a fight for human dignity, Mandela wrote. Fast forward to Zimbabwe in 2021. Mako's letter from the Zimbabwean jail reflects this enduring spirit, commitment to the struggle for human rights. Makomborero Haruzivishe was arrested on 17 February 2021 for exercising his freedom of expression as guaranteed in the African Charter of Human Rights, as well as, strangely enough, the Zimbabwean Constitution. Mako, as he is affectionately called, is languishing in his cell at the Harare Remand Prison in Zimbabwe. Mako's case has brought worldwide attention to unending human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. Mako's letter from jail demonstrates, as I said earlier, the courage and resilience of a young activist, and inspiration from letters from jail written by Nelson Mandela during the apartheid regime in South Africa and Martin Luther King during the civil rights struggle in 1960s segregated America. Mako makes a salient point about the struggle for human rights. He writes, "We must tattoo it in our hearts that I have the power, you have the power, and together we can make the change, because people's power is stronger than the individuals in power. Let's read Mako's letter from jail. It begins with, "Dear comrades and friends, in case you are wondering, I am enduring prison quite well. I have been prosecuted countless times over the past decade that I made a gentleman's agreement with pain. Having been arrested an average of 3 times a year, tortured numerous times since 2011, I have come to appreciate that pain has its place and I don't mock its power. But it is a power that doesn't touch my soul." Mako continues in his letter, "It is 7 months now that for my democratic views, I have been assigned to a condition of subhumanity. The inhumane conditions which I am living under with little to no rights at all are, however, mentally preparing me for the day we would reclaim our humanity through making sure that #ZANU-PF must go by any means necessary." Mako continues, it indeed would have been impossible to pull through the 7 months since February 2021 without your indispensable solidarity from #FreeMako, street and social media actions, contributions for my welfare, prison visits, legal representation, and continued demands for my freedom through the #Mako Monday initiative. I greatly appreciate it, and may God bless you all for the love. Mako continues, "Just like our bigger and collective fight for a democratic and inclusive Zimbabwe, where citizens' issues and concerns are heard and addressed, these 7 months have not been an easy road. The sacrifices of many for protesting in demand for my freedom are an attestation to that. I met a number of them in prison and at the courts. Some had visible, fresh torture injuries. Painful and disgusting as it is, it serves as a reminder that the main thing to remember is we are proud of what we are and what we stand for." Mako continues, "I know some may be interested in knowing my current prison ordeals, but for obvious reasons I can't narrate them now. All I can say for now is they are experiences that work the heart, yet leave the face unblemished, like a blow that neither bruises nor breaks the skin, but leaves a lingering soreness in the recipient. For me, my current prisoner situation is that blow. Of the 4 charges I was facing in February, only one has been concluded in what was clearly a travesty of justice that resulted in my conviction and sentencing, which I have since appealed against. Due to the unjust conviction, I was slain in the spirit, burnt and healed, bruised and raised, crucified and resurrected. Endurance is the word. I knew the word but never had the opportunity to really feel it, touch it, but was forced by circumstances imposed on me by the Emerson Mnangagwa's dictatorship to live it. Indeed, I am living it. And I'm not so blind to military state capture to believe that it will end anytime soon, as the subsequent capture of the justice system can prolong the 7 months I have endured to 7 years through more unjust convictions. But to me, it doesn't matter anymore. I will enjoy it to the very end." You are listening to civil rights activist Makomborero Haruzivishe's letter from jail in Zimbabwe and read to you on Change Radio. Mako continues, "You know, We have to face the facts. Things aren't getting any better. They are getting worse. All we are asking for is a Zimbabwe where every child gets a fair chance of quality education and every adult gets a fair chance of a decent earning. But all we are getting is corruption and abuse. Yet in 2017, many believed things have changed, but they have changed for the worse. What we have is just another dictator, Idi Mnangagwa, with an even worse agenda. The perpetuation of military state capture, a worse type of governance with an increasingly ruthless, ever-widening network to act it out. Who knew before 2017 that there is a terror network of state agents called the Ferret Squad, who would be deployed against unsuspecting citizens with specific instructions to abduct, torture, and harass them? Mako continues to write, who knew before 2017 that there was a car rental company called Impala that is contracted by the government to ferry terror squads to our homes and move citizens to torture bases? Because of such terror networks that are sponsored with our taxes, thoughts of real death, not the remediable conceit now of imprisonment as a unique death, becomes an insistent, strident companion to such an extent that when gunshots were fired during my arrest, I was ready. You are listening to civil rights activist Makomborero Haruzivishe's letter from jail in Zimbabwe, read to you on Change Radio. Mako continues in his letter from jail in Zimbabwe, despite all this, we must never, ever waver from the fact that justice is the first condition of humanity, and we deserve pure, undiluted justice. We must tattoo it in our hearts that I have the power, you have the power, and together we can make the change, because people's power is stronger than the individuals in power. With this tattoo, we must action our power through exercising our constitutional rights of freedom of assembly, association, demonstration, and petition in the streets, freedom of expression on the social media. For now is the right time to stop agonizing and intensify organizing. After all, we are the ones we have been waiting for. More importantly, comrades and friends, we must register to vote, because after all is said and done, all popular democratic revolutions end in the ballot box. Mako continues, worry more about yourselves, the future of our beloved Zimbabwe, the next generation, and worry less about me, for I definitely will come out sooner or later, dead or alive. Mako writes, after all, as I was enjoying my birthday on 23 April, endure, because my birthday in prison is unlike birthday anywhere else. In prison, one doesn't exactly celebrate their birthday. One endures it. I remain in charge. Yours faithfully, Makomborero Haruzivishe. That was a letter from jail. It was written by Makomborero Haruzivishe and read on Change Radio. Thank you for listening.
This concludes today's broadcast of Letter from America, a weekly in-depth analysis of the situation in Zimbabwe. Thank you for listening.
ngapinde ake mukomana aiwa ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ngapinde ake mukomana aiwa ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ngapinde ake vana veZimbabwe vabvuma naivo vati ngapinde ngapinde ake nyangwe mapurisa abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ngapinde ake mukomana masoja abvumawo naivo vati ngapinde ngapinde ake mawo veterenzi abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde aiwa ngapinde